Hey, this is the guys from What We Remember.
Hello.
Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
I'm Andy Hubert.
And I watched 31 films in October because I'm
Brad,
crazy.
You
That's a
really
lot.
need to get some friends, Brad.
I watched 31 horror films, and I ranked them, and we're gonna go through the ones.
You didn't
that I watched.
overdo it though.
Yeah, I didn't go to 32.
I mean, that would have been
You
crazy.
didn't get pushed to the edge.
So I'm gonna tell you the movie I watched. You tell me if you've seen it or not. I will describe the movie to you, and then you tell me based on the description whether or not you think you'd want to see that film.
I need
Okay,
these
should I-
instructions in writing.
Should I close
can't.
my eyes?
Ooh,
I don't know what that would do.
careful! You might get spooked.
Gotta visualize
You might get
it
spooked.
when
He's
you
gonna-
explain it.
If you want to close your eyes, you can. So they're ranked. I put them in order of how I felt about them. This isn't the order that I watched them in, but how I ranked them.
Okay.
31. The last movie that I watched, the worst movie of the list, Munchies.
I have not seen it.
Have you seen the cover of the Munchies? It's like a lady with her legs open, and then like there's a little creature underneath
Yes,
looking up into
I
his
do
I
know the
haven't-
cover art.
I immediately thought it was Evil Bong. I thought you were talking about Evil Bong.
No, not evil, but Munchies.
Munchies.
So Gremlins came out, and then all these movies about little critters came out after it.
Okay.
Like Ghoulies and Critters, and one was Munchies.
Oh God.
And Munchies was really bad. They shot this at a putt-putt golf course for
Oh.
like 30 minutes of the movie.
It's like a monster movie at
Yeah.
a putt-putt golf course?
So it opens with like an archaeological dig where they find the Munchie hidden in a tomb, and the tomb's just like a door that falls away. They open it up.
Just one
They
munchie?
find one Munchie in the bag. When the Munchie gets cut up into pieces, it turns into more Munchies.
Oh, a little bit of Gremlins.
It's a little bit of
it is
little
kind
bit
of
of
Gremlins.
And there's a lot of pastel colors. There's a lot of two old people driving in a truck that's not on green screen. It's just like a blank, a back of a truck, and it's like they're jumping around doing the movie driving.
Sounds
thing.
fun. sounds real.
And
So is this an 80s movie?
yeah, low budget 80s film.
Oh my God.
And
Classic.
it was the worst movie I saw.
How'd you decide to watch that one?
I was hanging out with my buddy Zach, and he asked me if I wanted to watch Munchies, and I didn't say no.
And you learned the hard lesson.
So, would you want to watch Munchies, based off my description of the film?
Okay, so no, I would rather just watch Gremlins.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'd much prefer Gremlins.
Yeah.
The only time I'd watch that is if we were having like a bad movie night, and then I could maybe bring it up.
I don't think it could even.
But
It was so hard to watch.
it sounds.
The next movie is called The Willies.
I don't think I've seen that
The
one.
Willies.
It sounds like it's just like there's some light scares, a little bit of I don't really like this. It's giving me the willies.
It's an anthology film. Sean Astin is the only person of note in the movie,
Of course.
and he's telling the story with two other kids, and they each tell a story. And there's like 3 stories in a row. One's just about a fat lady who goes to a KFC and orders food, and it turns out to be people. And she
Oh,
just eats like a
God.
hand or whatever, and that's like the end of the sketch.
Classic.
And there's the longer bit is about a janitor who eats kids at a school. He tricks kids into going to the bathroom, and he turns into a monster. He pulls the skin off, and he hides in the rafters of the bathroom, and he eats.
I mean, does he even
eats
really need to
people.
trick them? I feel like kids are going to have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is this all about like eating people?
Yeah, well,
Whether
that
or not you're
part is.
consuming or on purpose or not.
I didn't make that connection, but maybe it did. And then the last story stars Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts, if you know who that kid is. He was just in. We watched Dude, Where's My Car? And he plays one of those old tan guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
And that one was actually pretty good. He plays a psychopathic kid who tears wings off of flies and makes these like dioramas
Okay.
with the dead bodies of the flies. And his parents like kind of know what's going on, but then he keeps on trying to sneak into a farmer's barn to steal a growth hormone that makes like plants bigger. And he eventually becomes the flies eventually eat that like growth thing, and then the flies tear off his arms and legs.
Do they eat him?
I don't think they eat him, but they just dissect
Well,
him.
they're flies. They might eat him.
And the movie
right?
kind of just ends with him with like, I don't have any arms, and then the end. That,
I hope that's the
part of
line.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't have any arms or legs.
Is this young Sean?
Yeah, this is 80s.
He's like Rudy.
This is another
a little bit
80s
before
film.
Rudy?
Yeah,
All right, all
80s
right.
anthology film that I would not recommend.
Okay.
Would
This
you
is
want? Do
second
you want to
to-
see it?
I don't think so.
No.
No. Okay.
I think your description was enough.
Yeah.
Puppet Master.
Oh, I want to see it.
I've heard.
I want to see it.
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
I've seen
This
a
is
little
one
bit
I would
of
watch.
it.
Number 29, Puppet Master. A bunch of magicians get called into a hotel. The lead magician has died, and he asked them all to be there at his funeral. And a bunch of spooky stuff happens. There's an ancient German spell that they were using to animate anything they wanted, and then the cute little puppets was this guy's obsession. So all these puppets come to life. And
One of them has a flamethrower, right?
Yeah, that's in a later one.
Oh,
This one just has the tiny headed guy with the big arms who chokes people every once in a while. Jack the Ripper guy with a blade who cuts people. And there was the creepiest thing was there's a memoirs of a geisha lady who spits slugs out of her mouth into your mouth, and then you choke on the slugs and die. That was the most grotesque
Wow, that's
thing.
complex.
Yeah, there's a lot of great.
I would see this movie.
I would.
You want to watch
I'd see
Puppet
this.
Master?
Yeah.
It was pretty boring.
I bet it's after Chucky too, because they use a lot of. I mean, obviously they're puppets or dolls moving around.
Yeah.
I don't remember it looking that good. But I saw the one with the flamethrower or whatever. That was maybe Puppet Master 4 or 5.
There's so many of these movies. I only watched because I'd never seen the first one. I was I'll start with the first one because I'd seen bits and pieces of the other ones, but I don't know. It's just too slow. Too slow. Not very spooky. Mm-hmm. But there were some good bits in it. All right, the Amityville Horror 2005 with Ryan Reynolds, number 28.
Haven't seen it, but
I think
I
I
heard
own
it
it.
was pretty good.
I think I
movie's
own
bad.
that movie, but I
This movie's
haven't
not
seen
good.
it.
It's 90 minutes, so I'll give it that. But there's just too many obvious setups for scares, and he goes crazy way too fast.
Oh, okay.
They move into the house, and he's already insane, and he's wanting to kill the kids and his wife. And a dog dies, so if that's something you don't like,
I'll see it.
Andy's a big
That's
dog
sold
death
Andy,
guy.
yeah.
And I'd never seen the original, but I just happened to watch this one because it was on Netflix. And I was I got to fill my quota, and this was 90 minutes. Let's do it.
Is that based on a true story?
Supposedly.
Supposedly,
Yeah. A lot
based
of
on
horror films say that.
it's probably I feel like this is a mix of a couple different ideas together, and it kind of got brought up as this is an urban legend.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably a combination of things.
While I was watching the film, I thought the scariest part was just how much they were putting on a down payment for that house. They were
Yeah.
spending every last cent just to own that house, and then the house goes crazy, and then you're left without any money. That's the biggest
True.
spook.
Didn't get any.
As an adult, that is scary.
No equity.
Having to buy a house.
I think I wrote a treatment for a movie that's just about the horrors of just buying a house, just the regular amount of work and effort that goes into it, and all the things your furnace explodes and you have to get a new one right away. And it's just
I can't wait to watch the 4th home inspection that they're gonna have to go through. It's gonna be real tense.
Yeah, they didn't check the leveling the first time.
Oh,
They have
God.
black.
Will they
walls.
pass? Won't they pass? Who
Black-
knows?
to, there's carpenter ants in the wall. Would you want to see Amityville Horror 2005?
Isn't there an
Ryan Reynolds is
original,
topless a lot in the film. If that does anything for you.
No.
Don't lie to us. Don't lie
He's
to
not
us.
as buff as you usually like a guy, but
Wasn't there a 70s version of this movie?
Yeah, there is an original. Yes.
I would probably watch that one, actually.
yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch that one. But 27, Monsters, the Gareth Edwards movie that came out pretty recently, takes place in South America. A photographer needs to bring a really important business executive's daughter back with them. It's set in a world where aliens have crash landed in somewhere in Mexico, and then they've sealed off the border.
It's like a sci-fi version of The Rundown. It's like
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
I feel like I've heard of this movie, but it just kind of went away.
Yeah. It was his movie, and then he made Godzilla, and then he's making Rogue One coming out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's visually competent, but the
Then-
story's just really slow.
I think you sold me. I might watch it.
You might want to watch Monsters?
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's making those other two movies,
I know.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
why I
two movies
did
that
it.
I enjoyed. So
That's why I wanted to go
yeah.
through and watch it.
makes sense.
Yeah. Number 27. 26, Casper. It's pretty low on the list.
Oh,
But I did-
Casper,
I did watch a lot
we
of good
watched that
films.
together.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not gonna watch that again.
Yeah, it just doesn't hold up as far as those 90s nostalgic horror films go to me.
oh, but Bill Pullman.
But Bill Pullman.
I'd rather watch him in Independence Day 2.
Any movie where characters are mean to each other, I'm really put off by, and those ghosts are just so mean to Casper and everyone involved.
Yeah,
Just jerky ghosts.
they are. I mean, they kill a man.
Yeah, there's murder in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Christina Ricci's in it though, so it's got a selling point.
That's true.
She's 15, so there's some downsides to that too.
But some upsides depending on how weird you are and how much of a creep you want to be. But not great.
Yeah.
25, Swamp Thing. Your
original
like the
Swamp
82
Thing
one?
film.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's Wes Craven's Swamp Thing.
Yes, I'm sold.
Yep.
I don't have to say anything
All
else.
you said was Wes Craven and Swamp Thing.
I will say Ray Weiss is in it, and he's incredible. If you don't know, he is in RoboCop, and he's in a ton of films. Ray Weiss does a lot of Tim and Eric stuff now, and just a lot of goofy off the wall things. And Adrienne Barbeau, who's of course a babe.
Okay. Can you tell me what the premise of Swamp Thing is? Isn't it like a Marvel comic?
Yes, it's based off a
Or
DC
comic?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's something they're doing tests for. Let's try to explain the plot of Swamp Thing. The regeneration of cells in plants. They're trying to mimic that in people, so like you'll be able to heal. They're trying to make some sort of super secret health formula, and they're using plants to do it.
Okay.
So there's a group. There's a hospital out in the swamp that's doing experiments on plants, and there's another group of evil corporation dudes who want to steal the formula. And they raid the hospital, and then they tear the place up, and then Ray Weiss falls into a vat of the goo of the formula, and he falls into the swamp, and he becomes the Swamp Thing.
Okay.
And there's it's a lot of empty shots of forests. This is the big downside of the film.
I mean,
a little more.
Yeah.
You got to establish where you are.
Yeah.
It's earlier Wes Craven. He wasn't good at first. But he got better.
But was he good at first?
No.
But I'd never seen it, and I wanted to see it.
What do you think? You like it? No.
Nah.
I'd watch it.
You'd want to watch it though.
I would.
I would
check it out at least.
Because as soon as Ray Weiss dies, the person who plays the Swamp Thing isn't him. It's somebody else in the costume. And I think that's where they really fell off the rails for me. Lost a lot of points for not keeping it.
I'd watch it with commercials. Like I'd, walk away every now and then.
So you could take a break. Yeah.
24, Starry Eyes. It's a newer film. Came out in 2014. It's about a girl who goes on an audition for a horror film. But the horror film is run by a satanic cult, and they sort of make her go through all these trials and tribulations and self-sacrifice. And she has this bit where she keeps pulling her hair out of her head, and that's just what she does to cope or whatever. And they see that and oh, we think this lady's pretty crazy. We can use her for this. So she basically becomes they try to make her into a demon. And
how?
Yeah. Just by
you
going,
gotta watch the movie to find out.
Just by going in the audition, she just her hair starts to fall out. Her starts to become gross. She becomes to be a frightening woman. She has a bunch of friends that hang out in L.A. and they're kind of snobby L.A. kids who just we're gonna make it big, but she's the only one actually trying to do it. And
is it good?
Is it good?
It has some vague elements to a movie I'm writing.
I mean,
is it good?
It's oh boy.
It's good market research.
There are parts that are really good and parts that aren't.
Okay.
But overall, the acting is really good. It just the tone is a little. It comes and goes. It doesn't know what it wants to be some of the time.
Okay.
Do you want to watch this film? It's on Netflix. Starry Eyes.
Yeah, I'd check it out.
Yeah, I'd probably
for some research.
Number 23, House on Haunted Hill, the 1959 movie. I watched some classics. I tried to sneak some of those in there.
I will never ever watch this movie ever.
It's not the new one.
Tell me.
No, I know which one you're talking. The one with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
I will never watch it because one of our buddies' moms would watch this every single time we were over at his house to play board games. Every single time.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was always on. It was always the same.
It was
couple
always
scenes.
on. Yep.
So I don't need to describe it much. The remake was unwatchable, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch the original. There's something there, but it's not. It's just a kind of
is it
a bunch of red herrings get thrown out there, and people walking around a mansion stuff that's kind of supposed to be scary. Maybe was back then, but isn't now.
Is the basic idea that a bunch of people go to a haunted house to explore it?
They get paid. They're getting paid $10,000 to go there to attend Vincent Price's wife's birthday party, and if they can manage to stay the night, they get $10,000.
Vincent Price plays himself?
He might.
Okay, because you
He
said
might.
to attend Vincent Price's wife's birthday party.
Well, his character.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
It'd have been really weird if it was the other way around.
It's old spooky, spooko.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm gonna make it part of my rotation.
You're gonna rotate it out.
Rotate it out. Another older film, the original The Blob,
Okay.
which I think
58
yeah.
or 80s?
the 58. It came out. That's my 22nd movie. I put a little bit above House on a Hill. I thought it was a little more interesting, but it's still just as slow and there's not much plot there. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen that one, and it is a slow movie.
Yeah, there's some interesting things. Every character in it's like 35, and they're trying to be 18-year-olds.
I love that.
And like none of the police believe the kids that there's actually like a blob happening.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the classic tropes. I mean, I enjoyed it when I saw it, but it's not one I need to revisit.
Is this like a original, like kind of like 3D movie back when it was in theaters?
Possibly.
Does it have 3D moments? Possibly.
I don't remember.
Might be some things that get thrown at the camera.
Okay. Because I think well, 3D was popular in the 50s.
I will say remake this film. We got the technology to make a sweet blob film. We could do it. It would be good.
I'd watch it.
Just don't figure out its weakness 3 minutes before the movie's about to end, which they do. It's cold, kills the blob, and some guy just randomly shooting a fire extinguisher at some fire, and it happens to hit a little bit of the blob. And they're like, oh, the blob didn't like that. So then they just rush fire extinguishers and attack the blob with fire extinguishers. And for some reason, they take it to the Arctic, but there's no in-between shot where they're like gathering the blob up. They're like, they just call for the helicopters to take it away, and it just lands in the Arctic. But like getting the blob into like any sort of transportation seems really difficult.
That does. That seems like something that'd be interesting.
Let's just
Movie
throw
just
a
glossed
rope
over that.
around
It's like
it,
its own
and
process,
it just like
yeah.
seeps through the rope.
Yeah, they just skip that giant plot point in the film.
No, so does that mean that there's just a blob in the Arctic, like frozen there?
Yes.
Forever?
Yeah, until it gets loose. It ends with the end question mark.
Because global warming.
Oh.
Wait, are you saying the blob is causing the global warming?
No, the blob's going to get
Sequel.
released by global warming.
Sequel.
Oh.
Sequel.
Global warming sequel with the blob.
In the reboot that we do, that's how it starts. We see the ice caps melting and the
Oh,
blob
yeah.
moving inside of it. And it eats a whale or something.
Classic.
21, The Babadook.
Love this movie. It's
on Netflix.
fantastic.
Never heard of it.
This is number 21. This movie should be higher, I think.
I watched a lot of good films.
Yeah, okay.
Australian film, a mom and her creepy son. If you like creepy son films, this has got a real creepy son in it. They read stories together all the time, and the son is obsessed with monsters, and he thinks that he needs to protect her all the time. And at the start of the film, you start to feel bad for the mom, because the kid's just so annoying. Like, you want this kid to get killed by a monster. It's so bad.
So the mom is like, she's just like not keeping it together. Her husband died a year before.
Yeah.
She's trying to like take care of her son and work, but never seems to like have time for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a scene. She's trying to masturbate, and the son comes into the room like all scared. And it's like, I need to get mom time. It's gotta happen, kid.
Yeah, so they like one day as she's like going to find a new book for him to read, there's just a book called The Babadook that she's never seen before, and she starts reading it. And the premise is basically like, once you know about the Babadook, he's never gonna go away.
Okay.
So like she tries to get rid of the book and can't
keeps
get rid of
coming
it.
back.
That's a cool. I like the premise.
Yeah.
I'd see this movie. It sounds good.
It is fantastic.
It's really well shot. 90 minutes long. It leaves you wanting in a few spots. A dog also dies in this movie, so that could be a turn off.
The ending is kind of nice in a like a different way from your typical horror movie, and I won't tell you what it is.
Good.
But
I want to see it.
I think it's a nice ending.
Number 20, Late Phases. A older gentleman, Ethan Embry, is in this film, and he takes his dad to a retirement home, and there's a werewolf loose in the retirement home.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, it's really slow. It's really plotting. The first 30 minutes are really good because that's when the werewolf attack happens. And the guy is blind. He's a blind army vet, and he basically tries to snoop around this town, figuring out who is in on it or what's going on, why are there all these random attacks. And he has 30 days to do it because there's an attack on like the first night, and then he like plots it out. Takes place next hour or so of the movie is him like trying to figure it all out and get set up for when the next werewolf comes.
Okay.
This is like Werewolf the game.
Yeah.
It is kind of, yeah.
Tom Noonan's in it. He plays a pretty good bit. It's shot pretty well, but it's low budget.
Mm-hmm.
The werewolf is not great. It's just a big
CG.
big suit. It's not CG, but it's just a big woolly suit.
Oh.
Okay.
Is this... sorry, I might have missed it. What year did this come out?
This came out in 2014, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess I
Pretty
can
new.
appreciate that they used a costume.
Yeah, they at least did something right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on Netflix if you want to watch late phases. It's okay. Number 19, Girl House. How to describe this film? It's basically like a cam girl house where there's a murderer on the loose. And they think it's like one of the people who's watching the house. There's a lot of nudity in this film, so if that's your bag,
All right, I'm in.
I'm watching it already. I'm watching it on
Is
my
it on
phone
Netflix,
right now.
Hulu?
Down here.
Like, can I get it on my phone?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of topless women hanging out. The ending is pretty good, but there's no build up to who the murderer is. It's very obvious, like right away. It's like, oh, that guy's the murderer, and he goes like you follow him the whole time. Oh my God, there's a werewolf in this house.
Oh, jeez.
Getting scared.
And I wish they would have played that twist up a little more, but played off it. But
Okay.
it's okay.
Just
It's
okay.
a little long. It's okay though. It's by the same guy who directed one of my favorite movies called Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. I'd recommend that movie before this movie.
Jack Brook?
Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer.
Tell us about that one.
I should have watched that one instead. I sort of went on my way to try to watch movies I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Okay.
A few I have stuck in there, but
Yeah.
Okay, number 18, Sleepwalkers.
Is that a
think I've
vampire
seen this.
movie?
No, this is a evil cat movie.
What?
Yeah, so there's an Egyptian legend where like they worship cats or whatever, and these people, it's like they're were-cats. So there's the twist there.
I'm so scared.
So there's they're not quite mother and son because they bang within like the first 5 minutes of their meeting. We meet them. So there's like a weird incest tones in this
Okay.
film. But it's based, and there's a girl from Twin Peaks in this film. She plays the girlfriend of the really awful boyfriend guy. She's like a brunette.
Yep, I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name, but
Me neither. She's in
I
this movie.
don't
and
know
she's
her name
great.
either, but I know exactly
Yeah,
what you mean.
It'll be here somewhere. I'll put a photo of it. So the son needs to get a virgin to feed to his mom in order for her to stay young again.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
so she's
I
really
don't know
old,
if I
I
can deal
guess,
with
then?
this plot.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's based off a Stephen King novel.
I'm on
It was-
board with this movie. It
probably
sounds hilarious.
It's probably one of the ones where he was really high when he wrote it.
Oh my god. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of werewolves, let's do were-cats. And let's put all this incest stuff in there. There's a couple of really neat practical effects, gore effects. Ron Perlman makes a cameo.
Oh, gotta see it now.
Yeah. It's just a little too long, but it's good. Sleepwalkers. I kept putting it like low on the list, and I kept thinking about it more, and it kept on going a little higher.
Older, newer.
It's in the 90s. It's a 90s horror film.
Okay.
I'd say check it out.
All right.
Okay, The Colony. This is a newer movie. I think it came out the last 2 years. It's on
I've
Hulu or
heard of
Netflix.
this.
Yeah, I have heard of this.
Bill Pullman's in this film.
Oh, I'm sold
I'm in.
already.
Lawrence Fishburne's in this movie.
Oh,
definitely
my
in.
gosh, I'm in.
It's essentially Screamers. Do you guys just ever see Screamers?
I have seen Screamers.
It's
Wait, no. I get that mixed up with Scanners all the time.
That's the sci-fi movie, right? Screamers?
Yeah.
Yep. You've seen this because I brought it to a cry fest because I remembered it
With
from a
Peter-
kid and then rewatched it, and it was not a sad movie.
hate it.
It was bad.
Screamers is terrible.
This is like a new Screamers.
Okay.
You might like this one.
I'd watch
Okay.
it.
Or 30 Days a Night. It's also good.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds like something I'd like to watch.
It's okay. I would like a little more. What do I like? The main character is kind of lacking. The sets are great. It's if you're looking to feel cold and watch something spooky in the wintertime, this is a good pick for that because the premise is that there was a catastrophic event that froze over the earth, and you know how they have the like seeds saved in I forget where it is or what it is.
Like
Oh,
Sweden or Norway.
yeah,
or something.
it's like some sort of arc
okay.
where they like keep like all the seeds, like
time
tomato
capsule?
seeds,
a big seed bank. Yeah.
yeah, big seed bank, and that's where the movie takes
I want
place.
to check out that seed bank. Do they need some more seed?
You need to make a deposit. And they get a distress call, and they go to the distress, and it turns out not to be what it is. And then I don't want to spoil too much of the movie if you're going to want to see it.
I do want to see it. It sounds good.
Bill Pullman's okay, a little overacting, but I mean, he's Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton.
Oh.
Sorry, did that just
I
throw
can't
the movie?
see that movie.
Wait a
Oh, jeez.
Wait a
Bill Paxton, Lawrence Fishburne.
Cancel that one.
All right, don't watch it. Number 16, Bad Milo. This
Never heard of
stars Ken Marino. I think that's his name. The guy from all those funny things that Children's
Yeah.
Hospital.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah, I love that guy. He's in Wet Hot American Summer.
yeah. Gillian Jacobs is in this film. So he
This is a very new movie.
it came out in the last 4 years, 2012.
Okay.
He has a pretty crap life. Nothing's going his way. He's trying to get his wife pregnant. It's just not working. People at his job are being mean to him. His boss is a real jerk, played by Patrick Warburton. And he starts to have these really bad stomach cramps. And eventually, a monster bursts out of his butt and goes and kills the things that are making trouble in his life. And it's this really weird puppet that comes out of his butt.
Yes.
And he survives the butt emergence?
Yes.
Okay.
They play up that joke quite a bit. The thing even goes back into the butt
Oh, man.
in a few scenes. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's a pretty... I wish it was a little funnier than it was. I mean, butt jokes are good.
I don't want to
sounds-
spoil it, but I wish it was funnier.
And that guy who plays the Russian nut job in Armageddon's in that film. Remember that guy? He's also in Constantine.
Yeah.
You trying to get me to remember Armageddon?
Yeah, can you remember that guy? He's in it. He plays like a psychiatric doctor. He's pretty good. Number 16, Bad Milo, right in the middle of the list. 15, Mulberry Street. We're going through them. We gotta get through this. Okay. Night of the Living Dead, but rats.
Oh.
Is this
Set in
this
New
is
York.
a new movie,
Okay.
right?
It's a newer film. Came out in 2006.
I do want to see this.
I'd see it.
It has the same guy in Late Phases. The old man is in it, but he's a little younger. It's fun, you know?
Okay.
All right, I believe
It's
you.
a different kind of concept.
Check it out.
Brad,
Rats
we have,
instead of
we
zombies.
have that level of trust that I believe you.
Mulberry Street. It's on Hulu. The Tenant. This is a...
I feel like I've seen this.
We had to talk about
we
it.
did talk
So,
about
The
this.
Tenant or Tenant?
The Tenant.
Oh,
Roman
okay.
Polanski.
Roman Polanski film. A guy he moves into a place where there's a woman who had an accident where she jumped out of the room that she was in, jumped out of the window, and he moves in like right away, and he kind of takes over this girl's life in a way. He meets her at a hospital, like goes to see how she is, and one of her friends is there. And he kind of plays like he knew her, but even though he didn't. And they have a relationship, and just a bunch of spooky stuff happens inside of this apartment where this guy is staying. And eventually, he starts to be paranoid that the people around him are influencing his decisions because they keep making him, like, he smokes a brand of cigarettes that's different than the she broke, but every time he goes to the store, they only have that brand that she had. So, like, he ends up, like, giving in and, like, starts, like, eating the same stuff she did and smoking the same cigarettes and seeing the same people.
This sounds cool. I'd watch it.
And there's a lot of just spooky things, like Easter eggs that pay off and sometimes don't pay off. He actually even like starts dressing like her, and he thinks that everyone's out to get him and trying to ruin his life.
Nice.
But it's 2 hours long. It ends really, really good,
Okay.
Okay.
but it's a slow build into the ending.
I'm not sure about 70s horror movies. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're terrible.
This one's right in the middle.
I bet it has a lot of surreal moments that don't make sense.
Yes. Yes.
That falls under the more terrible side for me personally.
Maybe check it out. Bruce Campbell kept talking about it in podcasts about it being a scary movie, so I wanted to see it. Number 13, Identity. I'd seen this movie in the theaters. Came out in 2002. It stars John Cusack. Ray Liotta.
I don't think I saw it, but I remember watching all the trailers for it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
A bunch of people
this.
get stranded in a hotel. There's a murder on the loose. They keep getting knocked off one by one. They're trying to figure it out. At the same time, it has a big twist on it, so I got to be careful about how I want to phrase what I'm saying. So I guess I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Because there's another big
I'll
twist
see
that
it.
happens.
I'll see it.
All right.
Sounds good.
Identity.
Some identity twists.
13.
Ooh,
Identity.
ooh.
12. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974.
Oh, the
Like,
classic.
This is a movie I've been wanting to see for
I'd
a
never
while.
seen it before.
Really? Oh man, this is a classic. I saw this. When
I
was-
haven't seen
I
it.
saw this one. This was like one of the first like true horror slasher films I saw as a kid.
I thought there was gonna be a lot
Scared
more
the pants off me.
I thought there was gonna be a lot more gore in the film, but there's not. A lot of like him just putting a chainsaw into like a fake corpse.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish there was a little. I mean, the gore effects probably would have been bad. So maybe they
In the
employed
newer
that
ones, there
together.
definitely is because that's it's just gore effects were just easier, I think. But
Right. There's a lot of creepy stuff that happens. A lot of people making bad decisions and wandering off alone,
yeah,
and then getting murdered for it.
this is another movie that spawned a lot of tropes. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it originated them. The ending's really creepy and great, but the hour build up to it, it's a little rocky.
I think
I
I'm
liked
gonna. I need to watch it. I
You
know
do.
I need to watch
I
it.
feel like you just have to watch this movie. It's just
should.
a classic horror film. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and take a look. Creature from the Black Lagoon, number 11,
Oh, I love this movie.
the original.
I watched this a bunch as a kid.
The underwater swimming is so good.
Yeah.
It has a lot of basic plots, but I think it originated a lot of them, like them not being able to get the boat out of the lagoon, like the creature like trapping them, them turning on each other, things like that happen.
This is a really old movie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's black and white.
yeah,
And-
40s or 50s.
Yep, I think it's 50s.
It was one of the
but
last of the Universal
How's the
monster
creature
films.
look?
It looks great.
Does it really?
For the yeah,
really
absolutely for the time. I think it
I think I'm
it
getting
doesn't just
another
feel like dude in a
film
goofy
mixed
suit.
up.
Like it feels like a kind of like a monster, which seems kind of strange because 50s movies you're just sort of like, oh boy, come
It
on.
moving around in the water is so
Yeah, the swimming
frightening.
is really good.
In the sequel, I guess they had to use different eye holes because they guess the guy couldn't see it all in this one, and it looks better because it looks just like it doesn't have any can't blink or it doesn't have any shape, just like a creepy fish monster.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm
And
gonna
it,
watch it.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
yeah. There's a couple of music notes that every time the creature comes up into frame, they play like the same song, and you hear it like 30 times. But other than that, it's a good film.
Okay.
Number 10, Fire in the Sky, came out
I really want to see this
in the
movie.
early 90s. You should see
Based
this
on
film.
a true story.
I have not seen it.
Yeah,
It's about an alien
D.B. Sweeney's in
abduction.
this film.
Okay.
The Terminator 2 is in this film. Robert Patrick, is that his name? A bunch of, I guess I want to call them like lumberjack types. They're not quite rednecks, but they're in like a small town.
In
And
like Alaska or something like that.
that's more like in Alabama or Kentucky, somewhere in the south.
A bunch of outdoorsmen.
Yeah, they go on a trip and they see a weird light, and D.B. Sweeney gets out of the car and he gets like zapped up and like he just disappears. Half the movie is like the town going against these guys to like figure out what really happened. There's a lot of interrogation scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
It's based on a true story too.
Yeah, it's essentially it feels like 3 different movies. There's that part, and then like in the middle is like a Law and Order type part where they're like being interviewed, and then the finale part, which I won't spoil, but it's like it was the scariest 30 minutes of any movie I'd seen.
Oh, very cool.
During my 31
I'll have to
days.
see it.
What? Oh my god, I'm gonna watch this week.
Number 9, Event Horizon. I know you want to talk a lot about
No, thank you.
I don't need to see this again. I watched it once and I was like, once is
Not
enough.
only does this movie not make sense and doesn't care to explain it, it's just not scary.
How long is this movie? Because when I
90
watched
minutes,
it
90
felt
to 2
really
hours.
long when I saw it.
I wanted this movie to be awesome because some of those like sequences of the ships just moving around looked so cool.
Yes.
I wanted to like it, but the ending, like things were happening that just didn't really add up or make sense.
Yep.
That is a problem with the film, but overall I thought it was really good. I think anything in space is trying to be new is good. It made me want to just play Dead
Yeah.
Space, the video game, really
Oh
bad.
my god, that game's scary.
So and then
I played a demo of Dead Space, and it was like the very first scene. Like I walked up to a creature and I shot it, and it died, and then 100 little like babies like just covered me and killed me immediately. And I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna play this ever again.
That game is intense.
so I think it had that going for it, where it just kept on reminding me of something scarier than it was. But it's still like a great set piece.
Yeah,
and Samuel
I'm not
kills it.
upset I saw it. It's not something I need to watch again.
And if you like the Event Horizon, check out Pandorum. It's another film that came out a few years ago. That's in the same vein. I like.
People didn't like that one though, right?
Yeah, I don't know why. Give
It's
it
like
a chance.
a prequel to the Alien franchise.
No,
that's
Prometheus.
Prometheus, yeah.
Pandorum has
Oh.
Dennis Quaid and Ben
That
Foster.
I did watch that one. And that one was really good. And they shot that on like a $10,000 budget or something, like really tiny, which for a sci-fi film is crazy. But that was actually I really like Pandorum.
Yeah, check out Pandorum. Number 8, Evil Dead. when I had seen a lot, but I hadn't seen
classic.
in a while.
Fantastic.
It's
movie.
really good.
We had watched the musical, and I just wanted to watch it.
Even the remake is really good.
Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't know like the characters' names before, and we watched the musical. It's like, oh, now I know who all these people are, and I know their backstory, and I get familiar with a lot of things that are happening in it.
By the way, the musical's fantastic too.
Yeah,
I have not
And
seen
if
the
you
musical.
get a chance to watch it, you should.
I will. I have not seen the musical part, but based on just your recommendation,
So
I'll
funny.
do it.
And Evil Dead, just really,
It's classic.
just really good. So number 7, Night of the Living Dead, classic. Just,
Also classic.
Just really good.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a solid movie.
Yeah, that movie's just one of those. Everything about it works, and it's the pinnacle of the genre, sort of in a way.
Number 6, a little bit of a sleeper hit. Hellbound Hellraiser 2
Oh my!
is my number 6 pick.
You
of
like
the film.
Hellraiser 2?
Hellraiser 2 is my number 6 movie. I really liked it.
You really did, apparently.
Wow.
I don't know this movie.
The gore effects are incredible. The matte paintings are great. There's a cohesive story. There is so many frightening moments. I will say that there are just so many scary things happening. It kind of dulls your senses to it a lot of the time because it's just so out of the
Weird.
ordinary and frightening and weird and creepy as hell.
The main girl is gorgeous. She's gorgeous in the first one too.
Yeah. But there are some scenes in this movie that can really give you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. She's like stuck in a hospital most of the movie, right? Or
yeah.
at least a portion of it.
Yeah.
She's like stuck in the hospital and like can't get out and like keeps kind of drifting in between like the real world and like
Well,
the
they eventually
hell
go into
world.
hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole like bit where they go into hell and they come back, and there's a lot of neat subplots, and you don't know where the movie's going a lot of the time. And man, are the makeup effects so dang good in this.
Oh,
movie.
absolutely.
Oh my jeez.
I went back and just yesterday reread the plot for the first Hellraiser because I remember the movie is a little vague on explaining things, but the Wikipedia does like a decent job of explaining the story, and the story is just weird. So like the
Mind-numbing
Cenobites,
grotesque.
the Cenobites are just like from another dimension where they enjoy inflicting pain on people. So it's like they're sadists basically.
Yeah, and this one they're from hell, and they're like created in hell. There's even like a human that gets turned into a Cenobite in the movie, and they have him on like a crane, and he's like floating.
Who's your favorite Cenobite?
Probably that guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's creepy as all get out.
I like the really big one. He looks like he's just like a like soft serve like Slurpee thing.
All right, now I gotta find that photo, and I gotta put a slurp machine next to the guy. Thanks a lot for the extra work, Andy.
Do it.
But I'd give Hellraiser 2. Give
Alright.
it a shot. It's cool. Another surprise sequel, Critters 2. I watched the same night with Zach. Critters 2 is really good.
I haven't seen
I don't
Critters
think I've
or
seen
Critters
it.
2.
I don't think I've seen either
Dude,
of them.
Critters 2. You maybe need to see the first one. They definitely state continuity with the first Critters in this film.
All right.
But
Could
it's-
I jump into the second one?
Yeah. You
I
could.
think I'm gonna do that.
You could. It's really. It looks like $1 million. It's shot in like a small town. Kind of has a Gremlins feel,
Okay.
but it's funny. The effects are great. They casted the crap out of this movie. It's really good, and
Cool.
it's just a small town spook 'em up movie with a bunch of people in it.
Sounds pretty good.
Yep. Number 4, Addams Family. I mean, how are you gonna go wrong with this film?
Yeah. It's clear.
The
The
Addams-
original?
Yeah. The Raul Julia one.
I will say I almost like Values more, but the original is great.
They are both great.
This movie's incredible.
Yes, this movie's really
This
good.
is the one where Fester is like it's kind of like a scheme where Fester is
Yeah.
someone's trying to play Fester,
But it actually turns out to be Fester.
but it turns out to be him. Yeah, okay.
You get, yeah. And man, Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, Christina Ricci, and the little kid who plays Pugsley.
Yep. They're all
Christopher-
so good.
Oh.
Christopher Lloyd, obviously.
Yeah.
So good. The second one too is just as good.
Yeah, the second one is
The second one is a
great.
camp movie, but with the Addams.
Right. Well, they I think they wanted to put Christina Ricci in her own storyline in that film, and it kind of detracts a little bit.
Yeah.
This is all about like the main, Fester being the problem. And that movie, it's split, but
Yeah, it is a really good film.
It
A
is
classic.
Fantastic.
no, just can't. Number 3, Army of Darkness. You had never seen it yet.
I want to.
Just watch Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Boomstick, baby.
Yeah, it's above Evil Dead for me, just because of the camp and the.
Yeah, that one just
Nostalgia.
takes it to the next level of.
I have seen the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Number 2, NightBreed. I talked about that. I'll link.
Yes, you did.
I've seen some of it.
I'll link to the recommendation video here.
Yeah,
We
you
did it,
should.
so you can listen to that. Number 1, just Tremors. I mean, come on.
Oh, we talked
That
about that in
movie's
the
just
other
so dang
recommendation
good.
too, and it is.
I
It is-
have to see it.
Oh.
And watching our recommendations video, the point was made that it was a movie that could have easily been terrible, and it turned out great. And I think that is the case. Like, it's a movie that could have easily gone really bad, but everyone in it did a great job. The effects were great, and it turned out to be a really great film.
Okay, we went long. Watch anything in the top 10. Even in the top 20. I'd really say give it a take.
Yeah.
If you have a
I think I'm gonna go through this again when it comes out.
what movie are you most likely wanted to see out of the ones I listed? Which
Let me
one's
see it. Let me
next
see
one
it
you're
real
gonna want to
quick.
see? We'll land on that.
Girl House.
I'd say probably.
it's okay.
In all honesty, I do want to see Tremors, and I do want to see Army of Darkness.
For me, Babadook sounds really cool. You guys
Check out Babadook. It's on
mentioned
Netflix.
that. It sounds really cool. I like
It
the
is
idea.
a must-see.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Watch
watch another 31 movies maybe next year. And you can
Maybe I'll watch 31, and I'll
Whoa.
come back in.
then we'll rank them all.
Maybe we'll
Rank
all
every
watch
single
31 different movies and then have like a 3-hour-long episode.
Yeah.
And we'll all be tired of films
And
forever.
These 93 movies.
And no one would listen to it. It's just way too long for a podcast.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.